Hello my people, welcome to another episode. On today's show, I'm going to review the sci-fi film, The Arrival, and I'm also going to talk about the new trailer for the film Ghost in a Shell starring Scarlett Johansson. So stay with me on this episode of WillWeekly.
This is the day they arrived.
The object touched down 40 minutes ago.
Mama, what's going to happen?
I don't know.
Dr. Banks, you're at the top of everyone's list when it comes to translations. You hear any words?
Is that...
Yes.
Am I the only one having trouble saying aliens?
The movie The Arrival, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and one of my favorite actors of all time, Forest Whitaker, got some really good reviews by the critics, and at one point it was even at like 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Right now it's at about 90, which is still good. But when I first saw the trailer, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this movie too much. But when I saw the reviews, I was like, all right, let me take this movie a little bit more serious and let me go check it out, see what it's all about. In this film, Amy Adams plays an expert linguist, and she's recruited by the US government to try to communicate with these aliens and to answer the big question of why are they here.
More objects have landed around the world.
This is one of 12. I'm never going to be able to speak their words.
Got 2 days. Figure something out.
I am human. It's their language.
Okay, so here's my review. For starters, it's gonna be really hard to review this movie without giving too much away, so I'm gonna keep it pretty general. Now, this movie is very different than any alien movie that I have ever seen because I'm a big sci-fi fan. I've seen a lot of alien UFO movies like Aliens, Predator, and the theme is pretty always very similar. They come to Earth, they try to take over, they try to kill humans, and they try to take over the Earth. Now, this movie is totally different because in The Arrival, they arrive and then they're here and you're not sure why they're here. So that part alone right there, I loved it right away because it gave you the sense of, wait a minute, this is a little bit different. Why aren't they trying to kill us like they usually do in other alien sci-fi movies? So that's where Amy Adams' character comes in and she's trying to puzzle this together. She's trying to put together this mystery, and you're kind of discovering things at the same time that she's discovering things, and you get kind of involved in this movie trying to figure out what's going on. Now in the film, she also starts to have a lot of flashbacks of the past of this little girl that she had, and in the beginning you're like, okay, what the hell does this have to do with aliens? Why is the director, or why is the film showing flashbacks of this little girl that Amy Adams used to have? And at first it really didn't make any sense, but as the movie goes along, you kind of start to see that that is somehow connected to the whole mystery of the aliens arriving here. And when you kind of see the connection towards the end, it's kind of mind-blowing, and you start to realize how smart and clever and original this movie is. And at one point I was like, wow, this is insane. I couldn't believe like the creativity and the originality of this film. All right, now the bad part. The movie reveals a lot towards the end of the movie, but it does leave you with a lot of unanswered questions, which is a little frustrating because I have a feeling this movie is not going to have a sequel, especially considering it came in like 3rd or 4th place at the box office. So that's not that great because Doctor Strange still beat it out. But overall, this movie felt like one of my favorite shows of all times, The X-Files, but way, way better. I mean, The X-Files was a great show, but this film is so smart and clever that I really enjoyed it. So out of 5 stars, I'm gonna give it a solid 4.5 stars. I almost wanted to give it 5 stars, but like I said, it left me a little bit frustrated at the end. But the whole movie, it was intense, it was smart. So I really enjoy this movie. I highly recommend it. Go check it out, The Arrival. If you like sci-fi, if you like alien movies, if you like anything like The X-Files, you're going to enjoy this film. Now moving on, the first official trailer for the new sci-fi film Ghost in a Shell starring Scarlett Johansson dropped this week. Here's a clip, check it out.
This is Major. I'm on site.
You are the first of your kind, but you're not invulnerable.
Maybe next time you can design me better.
Alright, so if you don't know too much about Ghost in the Shell, it's based on Japanese anime. They've had comic books, they've had a couple of movies based on this series, and it's about a humanoid cyborg that gets created to take out the criminal underworld in this futuristic city. Now, as you can see in the trailer, it looks pretty sleek, it looks pretty dark, it looks gritty, and it really matches the tone of the animated movies, which I really like that. What I also like is that it kind of reminds me of the classic film Blade Runner from back in the 80s, and the music in the trailer is also from the 80s, so I kind of like the vintage feel that they're going with this movie. Now, the one thing I'm not sure about too much based on what I've seen so far is Scarlett Johansson. I'm not sure if she was the best person to cast for this role. I think for me, the ideal person to be cast for this role would have been Olivia Munn, and after seeing her in X-Men Apocalypse, I think she would have been perfect for this role. But I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, I'm not gonna judge it yet until I watch the movie. This is just the first trailer. I like what I see so far. I'm just not sure if Scarlett Johansson was the best person for this role. Well, that's all for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the movies I covered on this episode. Again, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. See you guys on the next episode. Peace.